Hi, these are my 3 tips to help you use Zoom most effectively for your classroom. These are all tips that try to free up as much headspace and time for you to teach in the way that works for your class. Not really pedagogical tips, more just sanity-saving tips. So the first thing you're going to absolutely want to do right away is go to zoom.us/profile and go into the settings within your web browser. The first setting you're going to want to change right away is to enable Join Before Host. Join Before Host is going to allow students to join your meeting when you're not there. Now, this is absolutely critical. If you don't turn this setting on, you are going to be getting messages, pings, emails, parent phone calls. Even if you're on time, you're going to have students that try to join early and they can't get in and they're going to lose their minds and they're going to start messaging and then they're going to message your friends who are then going to message you and say, this student. Anyway, just click Join Before Host. It's going to save your sanity, which is something that's in short supply right now, so we need all we can get. The next setting I like to turn on is auto-saving chats. Yeah, the chat log that's in Zoom is useful for a lot of different reasons. First, you could have an academic discussion. You could have students contribute answers, and you could want to save those answers for feedback or to read over before your next lesson or to, quote a student in a report card. There's a lot of reasons to want to save what your students are writing down during a lesson for an exit ticket, for a quick quiz or assessment. And of course, another important reason to have it turned on is if there's anything you need to follow up on with a parent, you'll have that record. The third setting I find really useful is to allow participants to screen share. Imagine students are writing to a journal prompt or they're writing answers to a question and you want a student to be able to read their answer and other students to read along. The engagement is going to be much higher if that student can share their screen. In addition, if you're tech troubleshooting, then being able to see their screen is a huge help. We're all tech support now in addition to being teachers, so be sure to ask for a raise. Good luck with that, and be sure to allow your participants to share their screens. The last feature I like to have on, which is apparently advanced, only advanced Zoom users need apply, is actually not advanced at all. I've been really surprised at how easy this is and how well it's worked. I'm talking about breakout rooms. All right, the next setting that I think is absolutely critical. If you only take one piece of advice from this, please take this one because it makes such a difference. I didn't do it my first Zoom class. I did it my second. It was night and day. That is to have an activity for your students to do shared on your screen when they join the meeting. Okay, here I am in my meeting and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be sharing my whole desktop, so anything I put on my desktop, my students can see. Make sure you have your notifications turned off. That's very important. And then also, I like to click Share Computer Sound because very often I'm showing my students multimedia, so it's important to have that on. And second of all, within my activity, I use sound. I'll show you. Now I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to open up Chrome, and I have this relaxing music video that I like to play. It's relaxing music, peaceful fantasy music, Magical Worlds by Tim Janis. Now this man is a genius, not just because of how relaxing this music is, but because of this whimsical, hilarious video. This cat looking at this fish in a light bulb, it makes me smile and it makes my students mellow out. And those are 2 very good things at a time like this. Just look at this thing. We got, what else we got here? We got a book with some waterfalls coming out of it. I'm relaxed. Weird giant ledge hand with the air balloon. This is a very unrealistic picture because Instagramming millennials would have ruined this spot if that was in real life. We got Tinkerbell and a mushroom house. And the list just goes on and on. So I have my relaxing music set up and I overlay that with a journal prompt. Usually instructing them to put their date, set up their notebook page, and to get them writing for 5 to 10 minutes. Here, then inevitably with 2 minutes to go, a student who is running late will ask for more time, and I'll just say, no, I'm sorry, please be on time to your next class and you'll have more than enough time to write the journal topic. And I don't give any consequences. I understand that this is all a new situation, but the student is much more motivated to be on time next time, and yes, maybe 1 or 2 students will still be late, but that is so much more easier to manage than 9 or 10. So have that activity ready to go on your screen when your students join your class. It'll save you a lot of stress, and you'll start the main part of your class with your students very focused, ready to learn. That last tip was something you can do at the beginning of your lessons. This next tip is something that you can do at the end. I like to end my Zoom lessons with a fun discussion topic, something with a low academic barrier to entry, very inclusive, that gets them laughing and having fun, like, what have you done that's driven your parents the craziest? I'll get the discussion off to a good start, create a safe space, and then leave before it's finished and assign one of my other students the host of the meeting, which is something you can do in Zoom. You can make a student the host. I do this for two reasons. First, at the end of the day, the student's ability to manage themselves independently is what's going to determine how much they learn in this new world. I want to communicate to them that they are trusted and trustworthy and give them opportunities to show that they're responsible. If I don't show them that I trust them, if I don't give them leadership opportunities, they're not going to learn how to manage themselves independently. The second reason is to create a safe social space for the students to just have fun with each other. I'm so worried about my students' mental health, and not all students are going to meet up after school and game together. Some of students will be isolated except for the time they spend at school. We need to create safe, fun places for those students to socialize. Thanks for listening. I hope these were useful. As usual, you can use these ideas as a launching pad or a punching bag. It's all the same to me as long as it helps you come up with the ideas that will work for your classroom. Hang in there, everyone. Thank you. Tim Janis, I just want to be on a stardust-filled lake with you and just ask you some questions about what goes through your mind, but I love it, man.